Bonjour and welcome to my magic light on Premiere tutorial. I've done this for Photoshop as well, which hopefully you've already tried that tutorial. It's quite amazing. So this is where you can add like colour over the top of your image. It's a bit like colour grading, I guess, but it's sort of where you can be more specific. So it can work quite well for nighttime pictures. You can make light up, or you can highlight certain parts of the picture. For example, if I cut across to this shot here, we've got like a slightly warm inner section of this picture, and then it should go to slightly colder as it moves out towards the edges of the picture. Premiere can be a bit twitchy when you're doing this kind of stuff, but we'll have a go and then I'll explain how it works on that one. So I've got a video clip here which has got, it's just, you know, Matthew very kindly being in the video, and then there's nothing above it, so we're going to add a black video onto the top of this. So down at the bottom I'm going to click on this and then black video, and it just makes a video clip that is, you guessed it, black. Obviously just press OK on that, which just matches your frame rate and resolution. So I'm going to drop that little clip onto this, stretch it out so it fills the entirety of that clip. Just press plus to zoom in a tiny bit. And then the effect we're going to put on is, you go into Effects tab at the top middle, and it's ramp. I've got that ready to go. So I'm just going to drop ramp onto that clip, and you can see it over here. So it defaults to linear, which is where it just fades from one to the other. It's going to fade from black to white, and if I zoom back out, you can see how that sort of fades from one to the other. Okay, and you can click on these, and you can see the point where it is. You can sort of bring that down if you wanted. Okay, and the same with this. I can move that in, so I can see where it fades. It can be quite a serious straight over. Let's just say, for example, there's a horizon. You could sort of help with exposure. It can do exposure as well as colour. But for example, what we can try now is I can go in and just click on these colour boxes. You can click on the pipette if you want and pick a colour, or I'm just going to click on this and just try something warm. Don't ask me what colour it is. And then on the other one, just try something cold. Okay, so we've got that sort of fade from one to the other, and then you need to go into your opacity settings. Okay, so that'll be closed as a default, so you need to click that down to open that up. There's various different things you can do here. We've done other stuff in Photoshop where you just turn that up or down. When you do that, by the way, it adds a keyframe on it straight away, so you might not want that. It can drive Premiere mental sometimes when you do that, and you can sort of wonder why is it starting like this and not doing that. So just be aware of that. So if you go into blend mode, and for example, if I just try colour, okay, that's quite dramatic, but you can see how it's sort of going from one to the other. Okay, if I change it to hue, you can see it's sort of fading from one to the other. And then saturation is horrendous. Luminosity, oh dear. Overlay, bit intense. Okay, but if I were to just jump across to this other one that I've already made, you can see that sort of gentle fade through. So on this one, it's very similar sort of settings. Okay, it works particularly well for this clip. Okay, and then if I just go across to my last clip here, so on this one here, what I've got is, if I just turn the layer back to normal, so I can see my, yeah, so it's a radial. So this, instead of going from linear over here where it just fades from the other, it's radial, so it starts in a circle and fades from one to the other. Okay, so that's how it looks like this. And if I just click on these points, I can just make that a bit easier to see. You can see the 2 points there, so I can move them. I'll just zoom that back in so you can see. I can choose where they fade from one to the other. Okay, and the point on this one that I did multiply. So if you've used what says it fades from white, becomes invisible when you use multiply. Okay, the opposite is screen, where black becomes invisible. So it's a bit unusual. You probably use that one for video, but you never know. It could be a cool effect. Maybe if you did the reverse. Okay, if we swap these around, for example, let's just try that now. If it was a dream sequence, that might actually sort of be the good beginnings of a dream sequence, with that sort of connotations of it all being soft and wibbly at the edges. So it's worth bit of sort of playing around. It's not the easiest of things to do. As you can see, my Premiere is already struggling. So if I just go back to this one and change it to normal, if I just lower the opacity, and I can get that slight bit of colour just coming through. You can see when I play it, it goes glitchy. When it exports, it should be alright. And then let's just try, so just to demonstrate one more time. So this is on the linear. If I change it to radial, you'll see straight away the fact it changes to this. Okay, to move these points, if you click on the line of the colour, okay, you get these points that pop up. So you could sort of move that to where someone's face is. Obviously, the closer it gets to that, the more dramatic it goes. The further away that is, the more it smooths out from one to the other. And then, to your heart's content, to try out these different settings that look absolutely horrific. So it's given quite a hard edge to that one. Yes, that's quite. I think maybe this one's a bit colourful already, but you get the idea. I think I quite like it just toned down. Yes, so there's potential to be in there for sort of different colour grading to get different types of settings on there, and you can get some quite cool effects. And it's quite good if you're doing cross-cutting for showing the different locations or different time of day or different events that are happening in a sequence for your storytelling. Give it a whirl. Hope it works.